Time to rise and shout. Let's get to what's trending.
Just see what this can become, because I think the sky's the limit.
Defensive staff complete. Yes, we are on now with a new defensive staff at BYU, adding most recently Justin Enna. So Jay Hill is your defensive coordinator. He will lead the safeties. Sione Puha is going to coach the defensive tackles. Kelly Papinga is going to hand the defensive ends and coordinate the special teams. And of course, Gennaro Guilford stays with the cornerbacks. Jarom, what do you think of the defensive staff as currently constituted at BYU?
All those in favor, please make it manifest. Yeah, I'm stoked. I think this is great. When we were coming up with potential defensive coordinators, we didn't even say Jay Hill's name because we didn't think that was a realistic option. It becomes an option, and now you have the best of some of the BYU-Utah good defenses of the past couple of years. So you have Jay Hill, his influence obviously from Utah. Sione Puha from Utah, obviously. Justin Enna was at Utah for a couple of years. Obviously, Kalani Sitake had been there. Like, the good that BYU has had defensively as former players here in Papinga and Enna and Guilford, and then the good that Utah has done, you're having that influence as well. Why not take the best influences around you, even from your rival, put them together, and have a great defense? So I am excited about that. The second thing that sticks out is this. I'm excited for, obviously, the newness. The Big 12 is going to be new regardless. But guys that come in with hungry, something to prove, two guys who have already been on the staff in Guilford and Papinga before. Enna returns to BYU, which is awesome. He's been a defensive coordinator at Utah State in 2019. He's been at every school in Utah. He worked with Ed Lamb at Southern Utah. Like, he's been at Utah with former Cougar Kyle Whittingham and all that. So it's exciting. It feels like Avengers Light. You're bringing these guys together. Now, certainly playing defense in the Big 12 is tough. There's going to be some games where BYU gives up 40+, but where BYU scores 50. And it is what it is. But I'm excited for, what hopefully obviously will be a better defense. We'll get into that in a second. But in terms of the personnel, who you got, where you got them from, it's not 5 of the same kind of guy. There's a variety there.
Yeah.
There's a mix of, like I said, Utes and Cougs and influences from different places. So I think it's very exciting, and it feels like what could be a great staff.
Yeah, it's an eclectic group. I mean, these guys have been around a lot of football for a long time, and obviously we were very excited about the Jay Hill addition. And Jay Hill went and got his guys. Like, I think the biggest surprise is the addition of Sione Puha.
Yes, that got him out of retirement.
Talking him out of retirement.
Yeah.
He went into retirement because he was just tired. He wanted more time with his family. And BYU kind of felt like the perfect fit for him. These are his words. Because BYU and Kalani Sitake are big on, hey, allowing you time with your family, but when we're at work, we work. It's a delicate balance for sure. But Jay Hill getting Sione Puha to unretire is really, really exciting. Kelly Papinga is already making an impact because of his connections with Boise State guys who went into the portal, and now, are we at 3 now at BYU?
I love it.
Okay, so BYU loses out to Baylor, but hey, we gained from Boise State. It is what it is. And I like Justin Enna. I think, and this is coming from inside the staff, he is re-energized. He's gone through some stuff off the field, on the field. He's re-energized at BYU. He's very excited to be here. And I think all these guys can recruit, led by Jay Hill. I mean, the number one thing I heard, as awesome as Jay Hill was at Weber State, like leading the troops on the field, the first thing I heard from his inner circle at Weber State was, well, congratulations, your in-state recruiting just got like 1,000,000 times better.
Yeah, and BYU needs to do that because there have been certain players lost to other schools, out of the state, in the state, whatever. So, yes, you have to recruit and you have to be able to coach. You have to be able to do both. Obviously, can you be great at every single thing? Well, some are, but if you're great at anything, I would just love to be able to recruit because you need good players to win games. Obviously, you can coach them up and you can develop guys that aren't heralded out of high school, but you need to be able to do both. And I think at BYU, the coaching has always been really good. It's can we recruit at a higher level to get better players to then elevate them from that 3-4 star status to 5-star play. Brady Christensen and Zach Wilson end up 5-star college players, if you will. Jaron Hall comes in as a 3-star. He exits as a 4-star college player, if you will, a second or third round type guy. Perhaps he goes later, he's 3-star, if you will. But the point is, you need both. And now Justin N., who actually coached at Weber State with Jay Hill, connections, right, galore with these guys. It's exciting to get these guys together, which brings us to topic 2. Now that the defensive staff is in place, what do you expect in year 1 defensively in the Big 12?
Well, number one, I expect BYU's defensive efficiency to improve. And I expect BYU to be, I don't know, a top 80 defense. Is that too much to ask in year 1 of the Big 12?
In fact, it's pretty low.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought about it because I'm like,
top
oh, man,
65.
You're going to the Big 12, though, so you're going to face some high-powered offenses that are going to sling the rock all over the field. We don't know who BYU is going to play in year 1 of the Big 12, but regardless, it's going to be difficult, and you're going to face some spread offensive attacks. So I settled on the number 80 because that's like almost 20 spots higher than what BYU finished this year at. And you're going into a more difficult scenario.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm managing expectations to a degree, but I expect BYU to be at least in the top 80 in defensive efficiency.
I would hope so.
And
the schedule matters.
And top 65 in points allowed. I want BYU, I feel like they will be somewhere in the middle, but in the top half of college football in points allowed. Maybe that's too much to hope for going into the Big 12 in year 1. I don't know, but that's kind of where I settled was, I think BYU could be 60, 65th in points allowed and top 80 in defensive efficiency. And if they are that, then that's probably a win better.
It probably means you went to a bowl game.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Who knows? I mean, you could have those numbers and certainly be 5 and 7.
I mean, if we're talking like, hey, quantify it in terms of wins and losses, I said last week on the show, I feel like Keaton Slovis and Aiden Robbins, along with Aaron Roderick and the continuity of him being the offensive coordinator and like the offensive staff all being in place, I feel like that takes BYU from 6 wins to 7 wins. Okay? I feel like BYU is a 7-win team with Keaton Slovis as quarterback. Some people are like, no, too ambitious. That's how I feel. 7 wins with Keaton Slovis.
7 and 5, too ambitious. Those words have never been
as the
stated
starting
on
quarterback.
This program.
This defensive staff might take my over/under to 7.5 wins next season. Okay, the combination of transfer portal people and the staff, I've got BYU probably at 7.5 wins right now. That's where I'm putting the over/under.
I want more havoc, is what I want.
Ooh, okay.
Because honestly, the thing that matters is points allowed, right? Yards per play, points per possession. Those are the things that matter. But if there's more havoc, which is more TFLs, which includes sacks, INTs, breakups, forced fumbles, those are game-changing plays. Those are momentum-changing plays. Okay. And here's the other thing. I want to feel as confident about the defense as I do about the offense. So when I watched the Rose Bowl yesterday with Utah, I thought when they were on defense, I was like, oh, gosh, they just make plays. They just get after it. Now, they didn't as much. They gave up 35 and lost. But I felt like watching that Utah defense, I was like, Utah fans get excited on defense. Right now on defense, we're like, well, hopefully BYU can get the ball back somehow.
Hold on.
Hopefully there's a stop. I'm not talking necessarily just about this year. The identity of BYU is offense, historically. But until, like, this year, in the NFL, it's been a defensiof team. The players from BYU in the NFL for the most part, right?
Now it's skill players.
It's getting that way. It's both sides of the ball. You got one of the best rookie running backs in the league, one of the best running backs in the league total, and you have the best middle linebacker.
And you got the most unique player in the entire NFL.
So you're checking all these boxes. We hope that Zach would be like the next quarterback. Obviously, that hasn't happened now. Perhaps he has a Geno Smith awakening, which, by the way,
love that interaction.
Great interaction because Geno knows that road and he knows it from the Jets. So that was a cool interaction for my quarterback, Geno Smith, after that Seahawks game. But what I want to feel like with BYU football, Spence, is on defense that I go, oh, I can't wait to watch this. This is going to be awesome because there's going to be some kind of pick, some kind of blitz, some kind of 3 and out where you feel that confidence. And now if BYU's defense can take a step forward, maybe 2 steps forward, now you're actually competing for a Big 12 title. And we're not talking about over-ambitious or just ambitious being 7 and 5, right? We go, okay, BYU can finish in the top 3. And who knows? That's the lovely part of this thing that we call sport is TCU was not expected to do what they did this year.
A lot of people thought they were going to finish bottom of the conference.
Right? And Michigan had a great, they had a really good defense coming in, and they got torched by Max Duggan, the backup.
Attaboy, Max.
The backup. It's just exciting you just don't know sometimes. And so next year, I almost go in with, I don't know what the defense is going to expect, but I would like more havoc.
Aggressive.
I would like to feel more confident and excited about watching defense, and perhaps we get that.
I need to add this caveat. It's going to be more enjoyable watching BYU's defense be on attack. Jay Hill sat across the room from us in Studio B and said, I've never been one to just sit back and kind of just let an offense do what they want to do. I will attack. I will impose my will. But there will understandably be some big plays given up on BYU's defense because they're going to be more aggressive. So BYU's been really good at not giving up these huge explosive plays over the last 4 or 5 years. There are going to be more of those, but there will be more havoc. There will be.
Yeah.
You're going to get that.
Yes.
But it's okay that in translation of all of that, there are going to be some
the risk.
There are going to be some big plays given up.
Yeah, if the risk reward will be higher.
For sure.